Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Robin and today is the start of Blackoween. Blackoween, if you do not know, is created by Bree at the Locked Booktician. This is her baby. This is where we read crime thrillers by Black authors all month long. It's a good time. And if you want to know more about Blackoween, I have an announcement video from a couple of weeks ago, and then over at Bree's channel, she has all things Blackoween over there. Go check out those things for sure. But I wanted to start this vlog off because it is the first day of Blackoween. I have picked my roles and locations. I have rolled the dice. I have chosen my TBR, and the only thing left is to get reading. What else is there? And so here we are getting started on this Blackoween TBR. I have a lot of things to read this month aside from just my Blackoween books. I just have another friend chose my TBR. I have some other buddy reads happening. I have some other projects that I want to try to complete in October. And so I don't know why I overcommitted to all of the things, but here we are, and we're committed now, and we just have to see it through, my boy. And so let's talk about what my TBR for this reading vlog will be. I'm going to be at Saint Tremaine Graveyard, where I'm going to attempt to be Investigator Thoreau by completing 5 to 6 prompts. And then I'm going to also be at Noir Apothecary. I think I can attempt to be Detective Bontemps and complete 3 to 4 roles with just one book. And we're going to talk about it. In hindsight, I should have filmed my roles, but I did not. So bear with me, I'm sorry. Okay, so these were my roles. My first role was a 4, and that is a book with body parts. And so for that, I'm going to read Lakewood by Megan Giddings. I had planned to read this last year for Blackoween. I didn't get around to reading it, but I know that this is like medical horror, so I assume that body parts will be in here. We will find out for sure. But yes, I will be reading this. I'm not quite sure. I think they're experimenting on people, but I don't really know like all of what's happening. Y'all know I do not read synopsis, so we'll find out. And then I rolled a 6, which was a free space. And in that free space, I'm putting, for right now, The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. I have an arc of it. It's about a boys' school in Florida in the 1950s. A boy named Robert is taken there because he kicks a white kid that lives in the same town, and I believe that there are ghosts at this boys' school. So that's going to go in the free space. Also, I then rolled a 1, and that was a book with Of the Night vibes. And so for that, I'm going to combine the prompts with the free space and put The Reformatory there because it has Of the Night vibes. You know what I mean? Then I rolled a 2, a book where a deal is made, and I'm not quite sure, but maybe All of the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby, which is the group pick. I'm not quite sure what this is about, to be honest, but a deal might be made in here. We will find out together for sure. If not, I'll have to put another book in here in that place. And then the last roll that I had was a 3, which was a book with murder with multiple POVs, and I'm choosing Nana by Brandon Massey. And I'm very excited about this one is because Bree chose this as one of the books for my Blackoween picks. I asked Bree to choose a book for me for my TBR. And so she chose this one. She says nothing but good things about this. And so I'm very excited to read. I know a lot of people are going to be reading it this month. And so like, I don't know what all is going in. It's a very short, it's a relatively short book. I think it's like 200 and something pages. And so like, I think I'm going to get through it quickly. I'm hoping to be scared. That's actually what my whole point of going to St. Tremaine Graveyard was, to be scared, to get those big, creepy, spooky vibes, to feel unsettled at night. And I think I'm going to get it with these books, especially with Nana and The Reformatory, only because I know that those two have to deal with like ghost and like something sinister. And then because I was overly ambitious, I decided to not just do St. Tremaine Graveyard, but I'm also going to Noir Apothecary, and I'm going to try to be Detective Bontemps in that location. And I'm going to do this by reading one book. And when I rolled the prompts, I'm I'm not quite sure. I don't think that this book fits all of the prompts for Noir Apothecary, but it fits a lot of them. And so let me tell you what I rolled, and then I'll tell you what I'm gonna read. I rolled a 6, which is the free space. I rolled a 3, which is a book with a cozy mystery with a pet. I rolled a 5, which is a cozy mystery in a small town, and then I rolled a 4, which is a cozy mystery within Amateur Sleuth. And I'll be reading the group pick, The Plot is Murder by V.M. Burns, and that book fits all of those prompts. I cannot believe that I knocked out all of those prompts with one book. I was so excited. And I'm also excited to be reading the group pick for that. And that's what I'll be reading for Blackoween this year. I'm hoping to get through all of it because, like I said, I've committed to a lot of reading this month, and I'm hoping to get it done even though I have a trip at the beginning of the month. And will I be getting any reading done? I don't know. I hope so. But before we get into the reading, I want you guys to let me know down in the comments what you guys read for Blackoween. Did you enjoy it? Did you not? What locations were you at? What roles did you do? Were you amateur share? Were you Detective Bonton? Were you Investigator Thoreau? But let me know, and let's get into the books. Crazy, but that is because I'm about to go outside and do some yard work. But I wanted to give a little bit of an update before I did that. So I am almost halfway through Nana, which, you know, it's a super quick read. It gets weird immediately. So this is what we've got going on. We have this woman, Monica. She has been raised by her adoptive grandmother, Lily. And then Lily, obviously she's an older woman, so she unfortunately passes away. And at the funeral for Lily, Monica's birth mother shows up in the picture. We've never seen this lady before in Monica's whole entire life. She's almost 40 at this point and has never seen her birth mother until this very moment at this funeral. And she's like, I wanted to come pay my respects and, you know, also see my daughter. It's like, all right, girl, well, I guess. And then immediately Monica's like, you know what, Grace, that's her mother's name. Grace, I want you to come stay with me for the weekend. I want to get to know you. And I'm like, Monica, I know that you're going through grief. I know you just lost your grandmother and you are sad, but like, we need to ask some questions first before we just let this lady into your home where you live with your husband and your children. Like, who is this woman? Yes, she looks exactly like you and is probably your mother, but still, let's do a little research. Let's get some stuff. Let's put you up in a hotel. Don't stay with me. That's crazy. But immediately things are insane. Grace, Monica's mother, is a lot. She just says whatever she wants to say. She says some really out-of-pocket things. And I'm just like, this is nuts, crazy, insane. Things immediately start to go south. And I just want to be like, we don't all see that this is Grace's doing. Even though like us as the readers kind of know that this is Grace's doing, but like also, I guess if you're in a state of grief, you're just not trying to see everything. Also, you just meet your birth mother. You're like, this is fantastic. Why would I even attribute anything to her? There have been some really what the fuck moments. And I think I could actually finish this today. I started it yesterday, the day before. And so I think I could finish it today. Wow, my camera died. Crazy. But yeah, it's super fast to read. Finally finishing a book for Blackoween. The first book I've picked up for Blackoween. We are mid-month and I am so behind on my entire TBR, not just for Blackoween, but just like Octobering in general. But anyway, that's what I have for you as an update. I need to figure out who or what Grace is exactly, and I need to know if she gets like destroyed or sent away or whatever. Like, does Monica die? To be determined. We'll find out. Is the husband going to die? Oh my God, he should. Because from page like 2, I didn't like that man. And then page 5, I was like, now I know why I don't like you. And then I just continued to not like him, although he is kind of smart and he be thinking sometimes. But still don't like him. That's all I have for now. I'm gonna go out into the yard, do some acorn picking up. Stupid. And then hurry that up so I can get back inside and do some reading.
Pain in general. Regardless of the reason, as she sat at the table with her family, she became so tired that her eyelids felt as if they were weighted with lead coins.
You see him? Hi, puppy. Doing something he has no business doing. But I finished my read of Nana, and I think I'm giving it a 3.75 because, sorry if that was dizzying, I'm gonna give it a 3.75. I enjoyed it. I feel like towards the end you knew what was gonna happen. You could see where this was going. Not that predictability makes something unenjoyable for me, but I think I could see where things were going, but I was also hoping for something a little different. I think I wanted the big bad to be something different than what it was. I was hoping for more skeleton key, less splice. If you get it, you get it. But I still had a good time nonetheless. I would read more by Brandon Massey for sure. I was weirded out a lot of the time because Grandma was weird. Grandma was doing some things that very questionable. Very, very questionable. And so much so that I figured people should have assumed sooner. Shout out to some of the people who were suspicious of Grandma from Jump, because she was out here wilding. And yeah, Grandma had quite the insatiable hunger for, you know. But yeah, but I'm actually starting The Plot is Murder. Ashley has sprints, Blackoween sprints happening tonight, so I'm probably going to either hop in the chat or lurk, as I like to do sometimes, and start The Plot is Murder. So I'm looking forward to that. I feel like I've been reading some heavier things, not just for Blackoween, since that was my first Blackoween book that I finished. So I've been reading some darker, heavier things. And so I'm going to read The Plot is Murder because I feel like it's less, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm on a Blackoween roll now, and I love that for me. And so I'm gonna finish walking this dog, or he's gonna finish walking me, whichever is happening right now, and then get back to my regularly scheduled program of reading. Oh, the light in here is terrible. It is a very gloomy day outside, and it is just cold and rainy. I just want to stay in bed and do nothing, but here we are. I wanted to give you guys an update on how my Blackoween is going. So I finished 2 books now. I finished what was the first book? Wow, the blank that I blunked. So the first book I finished was Nana. I told you guys about that. And then last night I finished The Plot is Murder by V.M. Burns. That was my book for Noir Apothecary. By reading that one book, I became, I fulfilled all my prompts to be Detective Bonton. So that is all good and done. So I had a good time. I think I'm going to give this a 3.75. I'm definitely going to be continuing on with the series, which is saying a lot because I'm still trying to feel my way around cozy mysteries. But let me tell you a little bit about the plot is murder. So we have Samantha Washington, I think. She's a new widow. Her husband passed away like a couple of months prior, maybe like 6 months or so. Prior to the beginning of this story. And so the money that she receives from her husband's life insurance and her pension as a teacher, she decides to open up a mystery bookshop and a tea shop, I think. And so she buys this property so that she can both live in it in the upstairs area and also like run the shop in the downstairs area. And her realtor that she was using to buy the property turns out to be a dick, but also he turns out dead on her doorstep one night after he tried to like not ask for help, but like he comes to her door in the middle of the night and is like, I need to talk to you, and then he is dead. So Samantha, with the help of her grandmother and her grandmother's friends, who are just the most hilarious group of women I have seen in a while, decide to figure out this murder for themselves, because right now the main suspect, or one of the suspects, is Samantha, and she's like, I didn't kill this man. And so they're figuring out who did, because also it just seems bad for business having someone die at your business at your, I don't know, unless you turn that around like, these specials will kill you good. Like, that seems like terrible marketing. But yeah, I had a really good time. And also, the thing that I really liked about this is that there's a story within a story. So Samantha is also a writer. She is writing a mystery herself. And does she take elements from her own personal life and some of the situations that are happening currently in her writing? Yes. But like, the story that she was writing had me drawn in. I was actually a little bit I was more into that story than I was the actual story, but whatever. So I'm definitely going to be continuing on with the series. I had a really good time. I liked the characters. Samantha was a little dumb to me at times because I was like, for someone who loves mystery novels, you sure are very dense about some of the things that are happening and some of the things that you should be doing to figure this out. But whatever. This seems to be my problem with cozy mysteries, is that I like the cast of characters except for the main character. And I don't know what that says about me or the books that I'm reading, but that's where I am so far. I am going to start reading The Reformatory, which is one of my prompts for St. Treme Graveyard. And I can't remember which prompts it's for, but when I remember, I will tell you. And so I have a couple of things that I want to do today. I do want to get some reading done. I have to get some laundry done. I'm having lunch with my bestie today. And then I'm going to come home and cuddle up with Blair and read some more of The Reformatory. And I will hopefully come back to you guys with an update. I feel like I'm on a roll now after having a week of just like not reading or whatever. And yeah, so that's the plan. Oh shoot. Okay, so I did get a little bit of reading done. I also got ready to go to lunch, which I'm about to do soon. But I read about 6 chapters of The Reformatory by Tanana Reeve Dew. And it is giving me slow-moving vibes like The Good House. And what I mean is like, The Good House was very slow in the beginning. We really built up to like who people were and why they were in certain places, and I feel like that's what's happening here. And so far in The Reformatory we have Henry, Robert. We have Robert, and he's like 12 years old. He has an older sister, and one day, this is 1950s in the South in Florida, and one day he happens to accidentally kick a white kid, and this white kid happens to be the son of a very prominent person in this county. And because the white kid's dad sees Robert kick him, he is like, oh, you're about to get it. And get it, he does. He is arrested the next morning, and then he goes to a hearing with no jury, just the judge, and the judge sentences him to 6 months at this place called the Reformatory. Now, it sounds like a school, but I think we all know that it's not really a school. But I guess like the alternative is going to jail for longer than 6 months. So, I mean, the punishment is unfair, first and foremost. But like, I guess if you have to choose one of these options, it's going to the Reformatory, maybe. I don't know. We have yet to get to the Reformatory. He's actually on his way to the Reformatory. He's being driven by this guy who is from New York, and I feel like he might have a significance in it. I don't remember his name, but I feel like he might be significant in some way. He's actually kind of kind to Robert, and I don't know what that like means for him, but he's basically like, just be on your P's and Q's. You have 6 months. Don't stay there any longer than you need to. Don't do anything that would make them extend your stay, because it's not a place you want to be. They may call it a school. It's not a school kid. And Robert is just like, he's scared. He's 12 years old. He doesn't know what's going to happen. His parents aren't there. His mother has passed away. His father is living in Chicago. And so he only has his older sister to really take care of him. And he's kind of been sheltered a little bit from the atrocities and the real horror of like racism, especially in the Deep South at this time. So I'm only 5 chapters in, about 10% of the way in, and so we'll see what's happening. I'm hoping that I love it and it's another 5-star read for me like The Good House was, but that's where I am. I am actually gonna go to lunch now, and then I'll come back, hopefully snuggle up with Blair and get some more reading in, because I really, really want to make headway in. And it's a long book. It's like almost 600 pages, and I just want to be like, girl, why? It doesn't have to be this way, you know what I mean? But it is, and so that's where I am. About 40% of the way into the Reformatory now, which I'm very excited about, because I feel like I have been reading this for forever, but I am so close. And I would say I do not like this more than The Good House. The Good House was really like a banger for me because I just really love haunted houses. But I am enjoying this. Robert, I think I've told you, Robert was sent off to the Reformatory, the boys' school, which is actually just a prison for young boys. And he is being haunted by the ghost of this particular place. He knows something isn't quite right, but he can't figure out like what is going on, why it's not quite right, why Warden Haddock, I think that's his name, he's the superintendent of the school, but why Warden Haddock is giving him like making the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. But he knows that Haddock is a terrible, terrible man, probably the devil himself. And while he is at this reformatory, he is starting to gain some friendships. And even though it's only been a short amount of time that he's been here, I think, I'm gonna say like maybe give or take a week at this point. Those friendships have become literally life-saving for him. I don't think if he didn't have these friendships that he would have survived for as long as he did, even though it's only been a week. There are horrific things happening at this place, not just in the present, but also in the past. And you get to find out what those things are. They're not like secrets that are hidden until the end of the book. You know up front what kind of horrors are at this place. And then on the flip side of this, you have his sister Gloria, who is working overtime to get this boy out of the reformatory because honestly, he doesn't belong there. He didn't do anything that warranted going to a school like this. No one did. Gloria is trying every resource she can. She is shaming the white people for not doing more, and some white people. And she is kind of hustling some of them also for their help and resources, which I just think is funny. Gloria also is struggling by being not the parental figure in this relationship, but kind of because their mother has passed away, their father is not there for reasons, and she is the one that is kind of in charge of making sure that her brother gets out of this place safely. There are a number of adults that come alongside her to try to help her in this endeavor, and I appreciate them. I am very interested to see what's going to happen. Robert at this point has had to make a deal, which kind of fulfills the deal prompt in case I need it for Blackoween, because I'm not really sure about All the Sinners Bleed, but for sure this one would fulfill the book that where a deal is made, because there are multiple deals that people have to make with themselves, with others, the living and the dead, to survive. The beginning was a little slow. Tananarive was like, I'm really gonna take my time, and she did. But now I think we're picking up pace. I think like things are really just about to like get charged and go full steam ahead. And we're gonna get some crazy, crazy shit happening. Hello, hi. I'm back with an update. And I believe that I last left you guys off with the reformatory and I gave you guys an update. If not, I finished the reformatory. I really enjoyed reading it. I think it comes out October 31st, so by the time you're seeing it, it's already out, so go pick it up, read it, have a good time. Again, not for the faint of heart if child abuse or child death is a trigger for you. So that is something that I read. And then I immediately picked up my next Blackoween book, which is Lakewood, and that, wow. I read through that so fast that I didn't have time to update you guys. I was reading it at night over like 2 days, and it was so trippy. I did not know this about myself until very recently, but I think that body horror is my thing, and I'm not mad about it. But let me tell you about Lakewood. In Lakewood, we have Lena. She has entered into an experimental medical program because it pays for her mother's health insurance, and like she needs the money. She's really struggling. She's a college student. Her grandmother has just died, which leaves her with the mounting medical bills that was associated with her grandmother's healthcare and her mother's healthcare, which she has a debilitating illness that I don't know exactly if they figured out what it is. They just like keep giving her medicines and telling her to do therapies and stuff. Because of these things, you know, regular bills have been pushed to the side. So sometimes rent is late, or electric bills, or whatever bills. And so Lena is just like, I gotta take this because my mom can't work, my grandmother's gone, and so it's just me trying to support me and my mom, and I've got to make it work. So she undergoes this medical experiment. She doesn't really ask any questions. She just knows that the money is good, and she's like, I'm gonna take it. And so she goes to this place, Lakewood, and it just seems very strange to her. At first, she doesn't question anything because why? It's like, of course they couldn't be doing anything harmful, right? And so she's taking these medications. She has no idea what the medications are really for, what they're supposed to be helping with. She doesn't even know what the side effects are until they hit her full force. And they keep asking her lots of these lots of questions, especially as they pertain to memory. As time goes on, she becomes overwhelmingly suspicious of what's happening, the people around her, the things that keep happening to some of the other test subjects that are there. And she can't really say anything because she signed a non-disclosure agreement, and so she can't like tell her best friend, but her best friend is like, why are you ignoring me? Why aren't you talking to me? It was a phenomenal read for me. It was not quite a 5-star. I don't know what like would have made it just that, but it's very close. It was so good that I felt like I was hallucinating at moments. I was having the craziest dreams over the past couple of days. I'm not even joking. I was telling like Jess and Ray about it, and I was like, my dreams have been really off. And I don't know if it's just because my sleep has been off, or like, is it something to do with this book? But I don't know. I'll never know because I'm done reading this book and I cannot go back. But like, I tabbed this book up and I did not expect to do that. I just went into it thinking that I was going to have a quick, fun read, and I had a lot of notes, especially as it pertains to like medical protocols in the United States and how we just test things on people. Like when you look at a medicine ad, which I find so fascinating that the US is one of the only places where we have medical ads on TV just running regularly. And you know how they have that long litany of side effects, and it was like, may cause diarrhea, dry mouth, dry vagina, and you're just like, I guess I'll take it anyway if it'll cure my athlete's foot. And I just think it's so insane. And there's the history of testing medical things on populations of people who, one, don't know that they're being tested on, and two, are being tested with some very deadly and life-changing medications and substances and diseases. And wow, it's just a lot. I highly recommend reading it. It was a good time. But that's where I am. I have one last book for Blackoween, my Blackoween TBR, which is All the Sinners Bleed, which is the group book for Saint Tremaine Graveyard. And honestly, I could read it or not, because at this point, I think I have fulfilled all of my prompts for both Saint Tremaine Graveyard and Noir Apothecary with the books that I've read. So far I've read The Plot is Murder, which was filled all of my prompts for Noir Apothecary. And then for St. Tremaine Graveyard, I read The Reformatory, Lakewood, and Nana. And that fulfilled all of the prompts that I had, that I rolled for St. Tremaine Graveyard. So I could stop. But why? Why not keep going? Why not read one more book? Or do I keep the book and save it for next year? Because I do have other things that I need to read. I've got another TBR happening that I need to finish up, and it's not looking so hot as we round it out. You know what? Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save All the Sinners Bleed for next year, and because this, I've completed it. I am Investigator Thoreau in St. Tremaine Graveyard and Detective Bontemps at Noir Apothecary, and that was my goal. Oh my gosh. Did I just finish my Blackoween TBR right here, right now, with all of you good people watching? I think I did. Wow. Look at me. I love this for me. Well, I guess with that being said, I'm closing out this vlog. I'm done, baby. But since this is the end of my vlog, because I'm closing it out right here, right now, what was your favorite book from Blackoween? My favorite book from Blackoween, I think, is going to be Lakewood. I'm not gonna lie. I think Blakewood. I think Lakewood beat out all of the others. But did I have a very good time this year? Absolutely. I don't think I read anything that I hated. I didn't. I actually enjoyed everything. So yeah, let me know what you guys read for Blackoween, what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy, what do you think you might plan on reading next year, what roles and areas did you succeed in this year? Let me know. We'll talk about it down in the comments below. And until next time, bye.